Hello everyone and welcome to our presentation about the youth's potential in amateur radio. I'm Henrik OH1 Echo Zero India and this is Ilona OH2 Victor Tango, my good friend who is going to lead you forward.
Okay, hello you guys. I'm Vilma OH2 Victor Dango. I'm from Finland and I'm part of the IO Region 1 Youth Working Group. And we are the ones that organize activities within YOTA. Today I want to talk to you a bit about the youth potential in amateur radio. But as I'm also a student, I don't like lectures, so this is very short. I'm sharing your ideas and inviting you to continue the conversation at our booth. And also, I would like you to, if you have any questions during this presentation, feel free to ask them and have it as interactive as possible. Okay, I'm thinking, some of you in the audience are a bit older than me. What was the thing that got you into ham radio? I don't think you just found it by yourself. Maybe you heard something about it from someone. Maybe it wasn't that easy to get started. Think of that in the point of view that you are a young person now. How would you, in this kind of world that we are living in right now, find yourself in ham radio hobby? Think about it. It is a very interesting thing. This is not a common hobby at all. There are so many hobbies in the world. And how would you find this in this kind of world that we are living in right now? Well, YOTA, for example, is a good program. Of course, we cannot reach every young people in this world, but we can reach some. YOTA is also something that you can take to your youth, your local youngsters, your local schools, your local clubs. Of course, there is always the challenge of finding the few people that actually build the community of young people at your local club, for example. But when you do find those few people, you can get going. When you find those, for example, 2 or 3 young people in your club, they can start the youth activities at your place, at your local club, for example. Because they are so much better at explaining the hobby to each other, to new young people, than maybe you are to young people. So they will absolutely learn this hobby way better when it's coming from a young person. And we are also, as YOTA, we are the global youth work. And that is very important in spreading the word. But we are also the place where you can get resources for starting your own youth work. And it's very important for the existing of this hobby, for the future. Like, if there is no young people joining this hobby, I don't know what's gonna happen. And with the young people, I have to say, something you can keep in mind during this presentation is, we are looking for friends. We want to stay in the hobby if we are friends with the people that go to the club every Thursday, every Friday night, whatever. If there is friends, if there is community, if there is fun discussions, we will stay in the hobby as young people. And as a young person, everything is about learning something new. As you're a young person, you are not the oldest in the room who knows everything. We want to learn more things, we want to experience more things, and this hobby is very good at that. because there is so many things to do, so many different areas to this hobby. And especially as young people, we find these new things so fascinating. Maybe in the older age, we are so done with things, we already have our hobbies, we don't want to learn anything new. But young people want to learn new things. And when they learn this hobby as a young person, that will carry on in their life afterwards, even to the older days. Of course, it's very hard to get into that hobby by yourself. That's why we need a community. Okay, social media. I'm saying all the young people right now, they are on their phones, they are in social media, and they know what they are doing. That is something that can help you as a community. What young people can offer to the communities, to the local clubs. They use it all the time. They have already experienced what kind of content should be on their social media, whatever. If you find those young people and you feel like we want to reach more, they are the ones that can help you. Maybe start with something small. It doesn't need to be anything big. And also, if you're active on social media with this hobby, the young people are on social media. That is the place to reach them. Schools, yeah, but if you go and lecture out to the school for the young people, they will just listen to it and forget everything. But if they find you on social media, on the internet somewhere, and it looks interesting, it looks inviting, they will continue doing research. They will want to know more. It is always about learning something new. So, why you should be supporting the youth in this hobby? The youth can find new ways to do this hobby. For example, bringing IT, digital modes, coding. Because in school, everyone is learning coding. Everyone knows how to make simple codes at their own time. So that is something that could be brought into this hobby, new ways to do this hobby. And that is where the young people come into the play. If they are active in this hobby, they will find the new ways to do this hobby and keep it going so that it is interesting in the future as well. The new ways to do this hobby are interesting also in the future. If we just stick to the way that it used to be, way that we have always done this hobby, we have always done this hobby this way, I don't think that is interesting anymore. So that's why the young people can come up with new ideas to do this hobby and keep it going in the future. So how can you support the youth then? Sponsoring the young people in this hobby. I'm a student, I live in a student apartment. Maybe I don't have much money to buy equipment, but you should open your doors to the young people. You already have the station, I guess. Hopefully you do. Or you have the clubs where there is a lot of equipment. The young people don't have those resources. So be welcoming. If there is one person that is interested in this hobby, invite them to your place. Open your doors. And of course, you cannot offer everything in this hobby. You might not be the same age as the new person is. So that's where we come into the play. We are a community that invites everyone to join us. And the Train to Trainer project is one of those ways how you can start with the youth activities. So we share ideas on our website how to do youth activities and how to, for example, open your doors. And For example, there is youth contest program where big contest stations open their doors to a team of 6 people who will take part in contests. Young people. That is one of the programs that we have, and that is what you can do. Open your doors. Well, how to reach us? We are here at the fair. Our booth is next to the IR booth. As I said, this is not a lecture, this is the start of a conversation. I'm sharing some of my ideas. Now I would like to invite you to share your ideas at our booth. We will be there today for a couple hours, even tomorrow, so you can come and talk with me and our whole team. And of course, more information on the website and our social medias. You can direct message us, for example, in Facebook and Instagram if you want to discuss there. Okay, so now I would invite a couple of my friends here up the stage and ask them what do they feel about this hobby and what's the potential that they think the hobby has with the young people. First, maybe Henry can come up to the stage and tell something about herself.
Yes, hello again. My name is Henny, as said, and I am always one Echo Sierra India. And yes, I'm as well a member of the youth working group for IARU Region 1.
Okay. This is it? Yes. Next, I would like to invite Martina here up on the stage.
Hi, my name is Martina Oscar-2 and I'm a part of the graphic and social media team, and I'm working as a designer for Yota.
Okay, thank you. Then next, I would like to invite Leon to the stage.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Leon, Delta Lima 3 Oscar November. I mostly do a bit of like technical stuff, and I enjoy contesting a lot. And that's of me. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. So, now I will go around with my friends here up on the stage and ask them some questions. What do they think? I shared my ideas, and now we are going to start the conversation. If you have any ideas, please raise your hand and we will make room for your questions as well. First question for you. How did you find this hobby? That's what I'm interested in. Because these people here are thinking, how would on earth a young person find this hobby, find it interesting? I would like to know what made you decide that you want to be part of this community and start doing this hobby?
Well, we have to go back in time to maybe 2012, around there, when in our local scout club, there was this one, a bit older amateur, Alan OH1, Foster Julian Kilogram, who introduced the hobby to a few young kids, and they all of those 5 boards got licensed within the coming year and became very active in our local club. And when a few people got their licenses, got into it, spread the word, more and more people have started getting licensed in our local club. And I know that our club has the most radio scouts in Finland currently, and I'm one of them. I got licensed in January 2015, also trained by Alan, and I'm very thankful for that.
Okay, so she mentioned scouts. Scouts are a potential group that could be part of ham radio as well. There is potential young people that would be interested in this hobby. If there is scouts clubs close to you, that is the one way that you would introduce this hobby to them and find new people to join your club as well.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, so I came to ham radio by accident, I would say. My dad is actually a member since I don't know how old. But once we were in the car and he just asked me if I want to do my license, and I didn't think twice. I just said yes. And like a few months later, I was doing my license. Uh, I made it, and the year after was my first Yota camp, and since then I basically stuck with Yota and with the Yota team. So yeah, that's my short story.
Thank you. So, I have to say, many young people, their family is also in this hobby, and that's how they find it. But I have to say that you can go outside your family. All of you are also responsible spreading the word of ham radio if you want to see this in the future. So don't stick to your family members. Maybe your friends have kids that you could introduce the hobby with. Maybe your friends have friends, the friends' kids have friends. So spread the word at your local countries, clubs, whatever, schools, everything. Go ahead, Leon.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I made my license in 2020 during the pandemic. Before the pandemic, I was like member of a computer club, like programming, hacking, whatever, local makerspace I could call it. And there was a guy sitting at the radio and like just pulling up a wire, and then strange noises came out of the radio, and like, that's a guy from the US, and like just a wire, and I can hear someone from the US. How does that work? And I got like into ham radio via the technical side, and I got like curious how does the physics of antennas and all work. And then I met the people, and then I kind of made friends, and here we go.
Nice. That is also one of the target groups that you could reach out to. People that are young people that are interested in IT, hacking, whatever, coding, and electronics, because the hobby is so similar, and we also should bring this more digital side of the hobby and make it bigger, because that is interesting to the young people. Next, next, I have to ask you, what is your favorite thing about this hobby that keeps you coming back to it, keeping it going? Henny, you can start.
That's a very difficult question. There is so many different sides to our hobby, but I would say that the glue that keeps me stuck to the hobby is the friends and the community. These people here, it's just amazing, and the opportunities that I've got, I can definitely say that I would not be an active amateur if I didn't go to the yoga camp in 2017, where I met Vilma Latvia, for example. So the contacts, the network, keep us going.
Yeah, so as there are so many different ways to this hobby, the young people can find their own way to do this hobby. What about Martina? What's your favorite thing?
I would say it's the same as Hanny's because I'm not that technical orientated, for example, as Leon. So, but I think that the opportunities that Yoda gave me to know like all the people from the world, to always like have uh, the open doors to like countries and meet the people, and yeah, I would say like just that thing. And also I think it's I like the way that I can talk about something that I like, and see that there's also some people who are willing to do it, who are young, the same age as me. So I also like the spreading the word that, yeah, I think that's, I like just spreading the message that keeps me like in this
Yeah,
hobby.
that is absolutely true. The friends are the ones who are keeping you coming back to the club, for example. If there's a community, it doesn't matter which age you are, you can still be friends. And creating that kind of community where you feel like you belong to some place is very important. The young people want to belong somewhere, they want to have friends. Maybe you, as more aged, you already have so many friends and you have your family and everything. The young people are just making their new connections, creating those connections. Friends are very important. What about Leon?
Well, of course, I like ham radio because it's like the linkage between the technical side and the social side. Because you need the technical side for being able to communicate with people, and also, I mean, communicating with someone always implies that there's at least two people, like one yeah, sending side, one receiving side. And that's why I like this hobby, because you make friends all over the world. I mean, I'm standing here on the stage right now. Yeah.
And I think Leon is also very interested in contesting. It's very nice way to motivate young people because they have to achieve something. They want to win something. Contesting can be very interesting to the young people because they get to win something, be good at something. Then, if you had to, how would you introduce this hobby to a new person? How would you start it? Very simplified version of it.
I would probably consider the fact that most people probably don't know what amateur radio means. Every time I say, for example, last week I was telling that, yeah, I'm going to Germany to this ham radio event, and they were like, what? So maybe start from the absolute basics, like you're explaining something to a 5-year-old. You might be explaining it to a 5-year-old, but even the older ones start from the very basics so it doesn't get too complicated in the beginning because that kills the interest, unfortunately. It has happened sometimes, but to avoid that, start from the basics. For our Scout Club, we have this Lego game that we play with the kids. So we have two sets of Legos. Each set has exactly the same pieces, and then they have the radio through which they communicate to the other, or one of the people builds something from the Legos and then explains to the other through radio how to build it. And they can't see each other, of course, otherwise it would be way too easy. But that's a small thing how you can make it interesting and start with very, very simple things from the beginning.
Yeah, that is good example. For example, when you think about younger kids, that's how they might get interested in this hobby. Fun games like that. What about Martina? How would you explain this hobby to someone? Random person on the street.
Yeah, I would just like stick with the basics as common sense. I think when you say something about radio, most people just imagine like broadcast and music in the car, which is not like that. I would say it's just like another way how to like communicate, talk with someone, but not using your phone.
Yeah, that is a good example. Like, we are communicating with people in this hobby, but not with our phones, but with radios, and we can actually make them ourselves, build the whole setup, make a DIY, and connect with people. What about Leon?
Well, usually when I introduce one of my friends to ham radio, I do it like in a two-step process. Like first, I show them the magic of the wire. I think it's like fascinating. You can just pull a wire like onto a tree or something and hear voices coming out of it. And this is like the magic of ham radio. And the second step is like meeting, like physically meeting the people you heard on the radio. Like I do a lot of contesting, as you said, and like sometimes I get invitations, like for instance to Estonia, and I fly to Estonia and have fun with the people I met over the air or at the Yota camps. I think we have a question.
Okei. Riittääkö tämän kantavuus, jos mä heitän sen tuonne sen? Riittääkö tämän kantavuus? Ei, mä voin mennä tällä tavalla. Would you come up? Yeah. Yeah, but... Go.
As you like.
So my question would be, it's not just like young people who try to get young people into the hobby, but it's like older ones as well. And I think the thought that young people might have is like, it sounds like an old hobby, just old people do it. And yeah, on the ham radio, you see young people, but when you're at home, you can't just pull out someone young from your pocket. So I think that might be a big problem. So how do you show that it's also for young people? Would be my question.
I think Leon can continue with this question. How do you show the hobby that it's not only for old people?
Well, to be honest, it's like for me personally, it's like the small things. For instance, on my qrz.com page, I have a link to my Instagram, and sometime during the Yota contest, I get a message on my phone from a girl in Italy, like texting me. I have never have been doing telegraphy to a person in my age, and this was like, oh, there are like actually other people out there. And especially in the Yota contest, we have like this thing where you have to exchange a number, and the number is like your age. And the lower the age, the more points you get, and also multipliers. And there you can clearly see that, especially in Hungary, there are like a lot of young people in contesting.
Thank you for the question. Please, I want more of you participating today. Okay, that was a good answer. I would like to add that Leo mentioned social media. To show the hobby, not just for the old people, it is very important that you are on social media. Your club is on social media. Your national society is on social media. Maybe even you are on social media and post pictures about this hobby. Make it look good, make it look inviting, make it interesting for the young people, especially in your clubs. How can the youth be part of this hobby, in your opinion? What do we bring to the table? Why should we be included in this hobby? This is a very hard question, but something that comes out the top of your mind, please share it.
I would say that we bring a fresh side, something new, maybe a different point of view, because we have grown in such a different world. So we grew up with social media, we grew up with internet, all this. It was already there, so we didn't need ham radio in the same way. It's something, it's completely new to us in a very different way than how it was viewed to people back in a few decades ago, for example.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. The young people bring new ideas that continue in the future, new ways to do this hobby. Okay, does Martina have something to say?
Well, yeah, I will again say maybe the same, but I think that we are the future, and everyone should like recognize that if you want to like, even it's not only us, it's also you. If you want to in like 10, 12 years have someone to call, we are the one who probably will be there. So I think just it's good to like have your ears open to actually listen what we are trying to say, because yeah, of course some of us can like show you some new technical side, like yeah, there is a new radio you might not know, or like there's something like really like technically based off. But we also kind of know, I think most of us know what we want to like do in the future, with maybe also your society, how we want to promote it. So I would just say like maybe just give us time. We will say something, and I think that we can figure it out the future of the radio. Yeah.
And that is where you come into the play. You already have the resources that young people don't have. So when you open your club doors, you open your own station, you can bring in the young people and they can flourish within this hobby. Does Leon have something to say?
Well, most of my points have been like already said, but I always tell people that you need someone to have a QSO with, and in 20 years, you're probably going to have a QSO with us, because the like demographics always gets pushed up, and if you don't push anything like from beneath, there's like nobody there.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the projects that we are working in as YOTA is YOTA Contest, which is a contest that is especially made for the young people. The young people have their own categories and they get awarded with more points. But we need you as the responding operator on the other side. So 22nd of July, the next round of YOTA contest will be held, and I wish you everyone is active during that time, because the young people will be on air, and you are the ones making QSLs with them. Then I have to say, like, when you got started in this hobby, what kind of support did you need, or you would have wanted to get you started?
I think what I got and found very, very important was the skill and the experience of the Elmer OH1 FJK that I had. He showed me how to do it, how to operate, how things work, things that you can't really learn from a book in the same way. And that, I think, is the most valuable thing that I got and needed. And I can imagine that a lot of young people will need in future as well. To have someone who knows what they're doing, showing a safe way to the hobby so that it's not too overwhelming to the youth.
Absolutely. It needs to be hands-on. Someone needs to show you how to use the equipment, for example, how to use the radio. What about Martina? What kind of support do you need?
I was one of the luckiest one because I grew up with everything at home. So it was just a matter of time, I guess, when I will be active. But I think like I'm the most grateful for my dad that he just spent the time with me during my first contest, like with helping me translate everything and just give me the ideas and just the basic knowledge that he could give me so I can prove in contesting. And yeah, I just might say one thing also to this. I think that's the contesting, even the basics one, are the great thing how to get some people in there, because once I did it with my friend, she knows nothing about technical stuff, but she was only writing in the computer all the like, you know, the QSO names, the call signs. And afterwards, after the 2 hours of the contest, she was like, yeah, that's fine. I was scared, but that's fine, because like I showed her this the way that you don't need to know a lot to be part of it. And I think that's something that's you can also like have on your mind.
Yes, absolutely. What about Leon? Do you have your answer ready?
Well, I've been doing a lot of like youth work recently at our local club, like getting people to their licenses, and I've noticed something. Like, we get the people through their license, and they have like their like educational license, and then what? We've been only doing the license course, and then we noticed like first of all, the community is missing. Like they don't have anyone to talk to, and if, uh, as already said, if you don't have anyone to talk to, you're not communicating. That's not ham radio. So we need like a social basis where we can like gather all the youth together so they can communicate with each other. And of course, if you want to do radio, you need radios. And to be honest. HF radios are expensive. That's a fact, and most of the people just getting into their licenses cannot afford a HF radio. So we also need at least like clubs providing the radios to the people and to the youth.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to share my story. Of course, my father was part of ham radio, had his license and everything. But the support I got was in starting of this hobby. We went to this summer camp with the other kids, and every day we would listen to lectures about ham radio and do hands-on stuff afterwards during the summer. You know, it was a summer camp. It was a really nice way to get into this hobby and learning together with the other kids. And that's how I made many friends that I still keep in contact with in the ham radio. So, thank you guys for the discussion. Now I would like to ask, does the audience have any more questions for these, me and my friends here?
We have a few more minutes.
Yeah. If not, I warmly welcome you to our booth, which is right next to the IR booth. You can recognize us from the blue balloons, blue and orange balloons. And let's continue the discussion there, because this was a discussion starter. Now I want you to share your ideas with me, with my team, and let's get this discussion started. Yes, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.